Shalom, brothers and sisters in Christ. Isn't it great to be learning more and more each day about God, about His wisdom, about His understanding? And this all will help us to grow. I'm here in the car park, waiting in the car. And today I want to talk about point number 2 of practical ways to express obedience. How do we express obedience? And it is called nurture endurance. In Matthew 24 and verse 13 it says this, "But he who endures to the end shall be saved." What does it mean to endure? To endure means to remain under. In other words, that whatever we are facing, we will not give up, but will remain under it until we have passed the test totally. Remember, in the parable or the story about the two builders, both of them were tested. Yeah? Rain, flood, wind. And through these tests, they saw whether the building was able to stand or not. And that's the same with us. We will go through testing. Remember Joseph. What did Joseph go through? He went to see his brothers. Instead of them being happy to see him, they took his clothes, put him in the pit, and they sold him to Egypt. And then in Egypt they were with the servant of Potiphar, and then he ended up in prison. When you look at it, it's not a very nice story. It's not a really good thing, and you might say, oh, well, that's the refer of evil. But one thing I can see, that Joseph had the peace of God, because every time he moved from one place, it says that God was with him. And actually we can see how God prospered him in what seems to be evil. I strongly believe that Joseph had the peace of God in his heart. And that helped him to be able to go through the testing, to go through the trials, and to endure it all until the end. And that's the same with you and I. We will go through testing, we will go through trials. Are we able to endure it until the end? That is the real question that remains asked. Yeah, and so we see Joseph at the end was taken to be in a high authoritative position. Now let us look at James chapter 1 and verse 2 and 4. And it says there, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." Lacking nothing will happen once we have endured the testing of our faith. Yeah? It says, count it all joy. Well, come on, let's be real. When you go through trials, when you go through testings, when you go through difficult times, are they enjoyable times? No, they're not. But I tell you today, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Why? Because it produces patience, which is another word for endurance. And then, ultimately, it will lead to perfection. Someone that is perfect has no spot, no wrinkle, nothing can accuse him or her of. They are perfect in the sight of God. Remember, it says, those that endure to the end shall be saved. Challenge we have today is, how much of a work in progress are you really? May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He shine His face upon you. Have a blessed day. Rejoice always. Never forget that. Rejoice in the Lord always. Have an awesome day. God bless you.